Welcome back to Barely Explained.
Barely Explained.
The best podcast.
The best.
Other than the other one that's on this feed. So
The two best. They're competing currently.
they are competing, and I'm not going to lie, Barely
And
Explained
now
is losing pretty bad.
Barely Explained has Melanie on it, I think it's going to be winning. So.
It does have Melanie on it this time. Melanie, why don't you introduce yourself? Who are you? Because you're a voice that people have only heard once or twice.
I am the voice of the podcast. I am.
Melanie edits the podcast.
Let me do a bit. Landon.
Okay, do your bit. I'm
I don't
sorry.
actually have a bit. I was just trying to
I know.
think of something.
I saw the emptiness and like I don't know where to go from here. Melanie edits everything. She also gives creative input, and she's also my wife. But we're not going to hold that against her.
Wife, producer, editor, creative consultant. So many hats she wears. That's Melanie.
Yep, that's Melanie.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it was hard to get through her schedule. I had to talk to 4 or 5 different assistants to get her on the show today, which is surprising.
One of them being our cat.
Yeah, one of them being our cat. It's very difficult to try to get a cat to agree to a schedule. So
they're very finicky.
They are. They honestly.
They don't pick up the phone.
No, they don't pick up anything actually.
Well, they have paws. They can't really pick up
No,
things easily.
no thumbs on paws, believe it or not. Today we are going to be covering a really interesting topic. I guess one that I wish that I was able to listen to when we started kind of making this podcast. Basically, I think we're going to title it "How to Make a Dungeons and Dragons Podcast," and we're going to tackle it pretty carefully because we are by no means pros.
We've been doing this for years.
I think we have 7 episodes now. But what I'm hoping this is kind of just just a little bit of knowledge about, hey, here's what we've been doing, and here's some things we had to figure out, and they were pretty helpful. So do with that what you will. And Melanie is here because she has experience in the business.
Yes, I edit podcasts. That's what I do for money.
Yeah, that's what
in the real life world.
In the real
not
life
in
world.
the D&D world.
We don't pay her. I'm just kidding.
I get paid in the laughs I chuckle when I listen to it while I edit. That's what I get paid, and there's no monetary value, but it's there's no monetary value.
Yeah, no monetary value for laughs. It's like getting paid in exposure. It's worthless.
Yeah, but I edit podcasts. I work for a podcast production company. That's my big girl job. And so when you decided you wanted to venture into the podcasting world, it was kind of like a no-brainer that I would be the one splicing it all together and making it sound decent and not too terrible. But
we clip those tracks a lot. A whole lot.
Yeah,
a lot of it's because we're using microphones, a certain kind of microphone, in a very non-acoustic sound-based room that's very echoey, and then we get very loud, and we laugh and we yell and we cry sometimes at the same time, and the mics don't like it.
Zachary gets very loud.
Zachary does.
He's the loudest for sure. I'm not bitter about it or anything. I'm just saying.
No, he's
just
I'm coming for you, Zach. If you're listening to this, watch your back.
Just
basically.
saying, his tracks need to be edited a lot more than everybody else.
Okay. Let's get to some feedback on the podcast. I'm just kidding. So I think to start it off, just kind of getting into the topic at hand of how to make a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. I think a really important, question to have answered, but you probably already do, is why are you making one?
What's your why?
What's your why? Why do you want to make a podcast? And there's probably more than just 2 answers to this, or a blend of answers. But what comes to my mind is either one, you're already meeting with a group of people that you play with, and y'all are having a fun time, and y'all just want to, record it. You know what I mean? Get it somewhere, so you can listen back or enjoy the good old days. You know what I mean? Or B, you're trying to make something to entertain people, and you're trying to produce something. Mm-hmm. And your answer to either of those questions probably affects what you do and how you create one of these, as we'll get into later. But there's a lot of variables you have to kind of think about, like equipment and money and what your editing software is, and the people that you're playing with and what they need to do to be prepared for the podcast. Websites, podcast hosting, a lot of stuff. It sounds like a lot, and it's a lot of stuff that we kind of had to figure out as we were going along. And so I hope that this helps you kind of fill in some gaps, or at least ask some questions that you didn't have to begin with. And if you have any suggestions for me, if you've been doing this for a while, and you're like, man, that sucked, that was awful, I don't know, let me know. Our Twitter's linked, is going to be linked in the description. I fully welcome any criticism, any advice, anything and everything. Please send it my way.
Open invitation to roast Landon on Twitter.
Not roast, friendly conversation. Yeah, if you want to roast me, that's fine too. But so far, it's felt like we've been talking to a void. So yeah, let me know.
Who are you?
Who are you, disembodied listener? So getting on to it, I thought that we just kind of jump in and just talk about podcasting equipment. And just kind of get into that. And what you need really depends on how many people you're recording with, right, Melanie? I mean, it's a lot easier to get the equipment when you only have 2 people. But for Dungeons and Dragons, I mean, you're usually playing with like a whole crew. You know what I mean? It's not as easy as just buying 2 microphones and an interface and calling it a day.
Yeah, and I think that kind of loops back to your why, because like if you genuinely just want to like throw a mic or a phone into the middle of the room and just like record yourselves for your own enjoyment and benefit, like if that's what you want your podcast to be, then that's fine. Like if you just want like for you to be able to listen back to it and have fun, but like if you want something that sounds good, and then you have to buy equipment accordingly. Like know what you want your podcast to be, so you know what you need down the line. And yeah, it's not, you're going to need a mic for each person who's playing if you want it to sound decent. But then again, it's like all up to how you want it to be production wise. Yeah,
that's exactly right. A little bit about what we use. When we started this podcast, we started it with somebody who was in graduate school, somebody who just graduated high school, and somebody who was still in high school, and me. And so and so we didn't have a lot of people that had a lot of money to spare, you know what I mean, to get a lot of equipment. And so I think a conversation you need to have is, what do you need and how are you going to get it? And how much is everybody going to pitch in for it? Because
if everybody is going to.
If everybody's going to. And if everybody has to be on board even to get to that point. But I think that's a really important conversation to have. And so, I mean, I'll spill the beans here. I am not rich. I don't have a ton of money. So what we did is we were trying to just budget really, really effectively. And so at first, I come from like a music background. So I was trying to get, I don't know, standard, even just like the most standard music recording equipment was too expensive for me. Like at first I really wanted to get what's called SM58s, which are really, really good microphones, just across the board. You know what I mean? Just from A to Z, they can get a job done. And also they're really good in an echoey room. They're a dynamic microphone. If you don't know what that means, that's okay. It just means that you have to be very, very close to them in order for them to pick you up, and they do a great job about cutting everything out. But they also run about $100, and when you have 4 people playing, that's $400 right there. You know what I mean? And so for microphones, we settled for some really cheap condenser microphones that we found on Amazon, and it was about $30. And with that, we got the microphone, the mic stands, the pop filters, the holders for the microphone to kind of like try to reduce the amount of noise if you like tap the surface they're on. Ours does not reduce it at all. If you ever hear a funny, like Melanie make the noise, like you can hear literally everything. So, I mean, they're like $30 per microphone with the stand. They're Zingu microphones. And Melanie,
thanks, Daddy Bezos.
Thanks, not saying that, but I mean, Melanie, I mean, you've been editing it. I mean, I think they sound pretty good for what they're worth. You know what I mean? Yeah,
they definitely. I think the biggest thing we've had to combat is the echo.
Yeah.
Because where we're recording, or you guys record in our living room, and we have like, our living room is open to our kitchen, so it's just one giant room. We don't have a lot on the walls yet, so there's not like things for the audio to bounce off of. It's just kind of like the cabinets and the walls. And so that's something that I've had to like kind of mess around with while editing. But other than that, they do, I don't know, they sound pretty dang decent, you know? I mean, I guess you can be the one to judge because you're listening. But being in that, like, you know, I hear a lot of different people's quality of audio across the board with all the podcasts that I edit, and it's on par with a lot of them. So,
and it was the most cost affordable option. I spent probably like 2 weeks trying to find something that wouldn't kill me or make me just fill up my credit cards.
Yeah.
And these microphones are really, really good.
And I think especially like with D&D podcasts in particular, more than any other podcast, it's like you're going to probably be recording a lot more people than like just a solo or like two people hanging out. And so I think going with a more affordable option is really, it's the way to go. You don't want to spend like $200 on a mic and another mic. And, you know, if you have like 6 people playing, that's going to add up really quickly.
Costs add up very quickly, as we'll get into later. But I think what I'm going to do, I just had this idea. I'm going to...
You're going to sing?
No, I'm not going to sing. I'm going to put some links to the equipment we got in the description of this episode. So if you're listening and you want to see what we have and what we bought, just go there. If I can get... I think Amazon does some type of thing
affiliate.
that if you... Affiliate link. So if I can get an affiliate link, I'm 100% going to do that. So
click that link.
Disclaimer. But... These mics have been pretty good.
And you got different colors for all of you?
We did get different colors for all of us. They come in different colors. So
yeah, there's gold. There's
red.
Silver.
This is turning into a commercial.
Zingyou.com.
And these are condenser microphones. So an important thing to note, if you're not familiar with the audio world, they require phantom power, which usually comes standard on the interface you use. But do not connect these directly to your computer with USB. They will come with a USB, with an XLR to USB converter. Do not use it. Like, do not even try. It will not work. It'll sound like garbage. You have to have phantom power. And it may sound weird. Just Google it. I bet you whatever you're looking at for an interface has it. But that's what we use for microphones. It saved us a lot of money because we didn't have to pay for stands, which was the biggest thing. The next thing that we had to get was the thing that the mics plug into. The interface, the digital recorder, we had to figure out which one of those we were going to get. And holy cow, those are expensive when you need 4 inputs for 4 microphones.
Right. I had one that I'd used over the years for my video and audio projects that was, but it only had 2 inputs. So
we couldn't use that.
But we bought, basically, it's the same brand, it's just like a level up or a couple levels up. I don't know.
What we ended up getting was not like a direct audio interface, like one that you'd use with audio recording. We decided to purchase a Zoom pod track. I think it's called a P4. It's a digital recorder. So basically, it records directly onto an SD card. It has phantom power on it, so we can use our condenser microphones. It also has monitor ports where you can plug headphones in for each channel and like adjust the volume for each channel, which is really cool. One thing it has that we don't use is a sound pad. You can like program your own customizable sounds on there and have it play it at the touch of a button. And also we wanted to be sure to get something that someone could call in remote and play, like in case one of our friends wanted to join us, or if one of us had to go out of town and we still wanted to record.
Which happened last
episode. And so the Pod Track P4 has a specific plugin for your phone that you can record from if someone calls in. And so it was really useful. We used it literally last week, and it made it to where we didn't have to miss a session. So I'd recommend it. I'll include a link for it as well. It ran us about $200, which I don't know what your budget is. That may sound like a lot. Believe me, for 4 inputs, that is amazing. That is really, really good. I don't think you're going to be able to find a classic audio interface for less than that. And then plus it's right on the SD card, so you can literally take that anywhere and edit it. If you have more than 4 people, I know that Zoom also has like a 6 input pod track that's slightly more expensive. It's also a little more decked out and a little bit cooler. I low-key wish we had that one maybe one day. But I mean, on top of that, you're going to be on top of the microphones and the pod track. I mean, what are some other things that we got, Melanie?
I mean, if you're talking about like equipment, software kind of.
Equipment.
Okay.
Like physical equipment right now.
I think that's most of it.
Oh, the cables. We got XLR cables.
Oh, yes.
So you'll need 4 of those. I mean, I guess depending if you have 4 people, but you'll need one for each microphone. Um, and those will probably run you between like $25 to $50, depending on the length and quality of the cable. You do not need the best XLR cable. Like get a cheap one online. If you go to a music store, they'll probably have really nice ones. So you can find cheap ones of those online. You don't have to get really nice XLR cables.
And the headphone extenders, so it wouldn't be
Yes.
tripping over cords.
We did buy headphone extenders, so that we wouldn't have to like lean in or trip over cords. Those are just like aux. If you Google like aux cord headphone extenders, you'll find them. And they have like 6 to 12 foot long cables, and they're really, really helpful.
And then any corded headphones or earbuds.
Yeah. And it's very important that you listen to yourselves when you play. You have to be able to hear yourself.
If you don't have if you're not like a professional and you don't have like a producer standing by watching the audio to make sure it looks good, then you have to be listening to yourself.
Yeah, you really do. Every session we kind of like try to test the levels a little bit. It never ends up the way we think it will. Someone's always really quiet and someone's always really loud.
That's what we call, I'll fix it in post.
That's exactly right. And that's why Melanie's here. Thanks, Melanie.
I just realized this is off track, but don't you usually like drink whiskey with Zach when you do this? I feel offended. I wasn't offered any alcohol.
Yeah, that's right. I should have gotten you a drink. Me and Zachary usually have some type of like whiskey or Lagavulin or some type of like
the one time you've
that we
recorded.
sip on. Yeah, you're right. We've only done it once. This is only our second episode. But
I'm a little hurt.
Well, I mean, Zach also did come over to do the intros that one time.
You're right.
And then we did have stuff there. So if you are a whiskey owning business and you'd like to sponsor a new, fresh, hot podcast, get in touch with us because, listen, we love things and we will promote the heck out of it.
If you are any business and would you like to sponsor us, then please get in touch with us. Do you have an email, Landon?
Yeah, the Barely D&D podcast at gmail.com. Actually, it's just Barely D&D podcast.
I was about to ask you, the Barely D&D. No. Now somebody's email. Great. That was Squarespace.
No,
they just emailed the Barely D&D.
We lose money because of that.
We lose money.
That's why we need a producer that's there all the time. That's you. I'm just kidding. You do a great job. So that's about it for equipment. I mean, I think we probably spent around $400.
That sounds about right.
$400 to $450.
Maybe a little, because I feel like the cables you got were nicer.
Yeah, I did buy some nicer
cables. He did go
cables.
to a tiny local guitar shop.
I did. I went
which
local.
I'm glad we did because they're cool. But
they're really great. They did give me free guitar picks though.
It's worth it for the picks. We use them every time we record.
We were recording the next day and I couldn't get cables in time, so I had to go buy 2 more locally, and they did cost a lot. They cost like $35 for both of them, which you don't have to spend that much. What next? Oh, let's go into editing software. So I'm gonna let Melanie take this away because I can probably count on one hand the amount of editing software that I've used.
Okay, so I'm definitely not I don't want to say I'm not professional because I literally do this for a living, but I feel like there's a lot of things that I'm still learning and I don't know. But so for our lovely podcast, I edit it with Adobe Audition because I have the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite and blah, blah, blah. And so I just use all Adobe products. But Adobe products are very expensive. I don't like that it's a subscription-based product. You can't, it's not like a one-time payment. You can pay it, have it for the rest of your life. It's a monthly thing. So you can get Audition because, it's really great software. It's pretty user-friendly. There's so many tutorials online if you're trying to figure out, certain things you want to do, how to reduce this, how to reduce, whatever. But it's definitely not cost-friendly. So a lot of people have access to it through their school or something. If maybe they're in school for in a creative field or audio or editing or something. I know a lot of people do, but it's definitely not super accessible. So Audacity is a really good
Live. There's tutorials of Pro Tools. Because a lot of these places will give free trials of these programs because they expect you to be making music, which requires a lot of channels. But if you're just making a podcast, you just need between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
The one thing is a lot of these trials, they don't let you save what you've made to your computer. They make you save it to a cloud, and they don't let you download it unless you buy a subscription. So the most I hear people using is Audacity.
Right.
People use that a whole
Free.
lot. Reaper. Reaper's really good. I think there's a free trial for that one. There's options out there.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you, like when me and you used to have our podcast, or when I used to do audio editing for my personal stuff, I used Final Cut Pro, which, if you're not aware, is a video editing software. So, because all I needed to do was like basic stuff. If you're just, needing to cut your audio, your footage, not do anything crazy, just kind of drop stuff in and, make it sound good, add music, you don't need something crazy. So literally, I edited our podcast using Final Cut and just exported it as an audio file. And it worked, and I don't know, I feel like editing software is one of the things you can kind of like really like skimp on if you need to. Like, because a lot of the editing that needs to be done is just like bare bones. Mm-hmm. Like, you shouldn't have to be cutting out a whole lot of stuff if you're recording your whole session.
And so what are some tips or things that are helpful for you? Like when you're editing our stuff, like what are some of the main things you do when you go through one of our sessions? I know there's the place where you make the AI like transcribe everything that we want Micah to say because she's actually not real. Then you have to like.
Mike is actually a big microphone. That's
she
why
literally
Zachary
is a
calls
big
her
microphone.
the big mic.
She's not a real. She's just a figment of
like Wall-E.
technology.
A lot of the editing that I do, it is bare bones. It's not a whole lot of like. So I mean, like I basically kind of like level out everything, make sure it's not clipping too much, making sure it's not like going into the red and sounding really awful for the listener, like it's hurting your ears. And there are some, compressors. I use like a basic compressor, which if you're using audio editing software, they should have a lot of built-in things.
Yeah.
So look up a tutorial for whatever you're using, just like basic stuff to make it sound better. And then also I do have one plugin that I purchased that is amazing. It's really helped with the echoiness. I went back and we were listening to the first episode 00, and even just like that many episodes ago, I was like, oh wow, like ever since I started using this compressor, it's really reduced. It reduces like background noise or static or whatever, and so it does help reduce echo, which we deal with a lot because also since we're all in a room together, or since you guys are all in a room together, I can hear every single person on every single person's mic. So that creates a lot of echo. And I could theoretically go through and mute everybody's track when somebody is talking, but that would take literally hours to do. And I already spent hours editing. So that particular plugin, I think I got it for like maybe $40.
It's from Waves, right?
Yeah, it's a Waves plugin.
Waves plugins are very good.
And it's well worth the money. A lot of plugins that reduce background noise, if you kind of notch it up too high, it starts to like distort the person's voice, so you have to be really careful with it. But literally, like this one, you can put up to like 80 and it still sounds so clear and good. So we can link to that in the show notes.
I don't think there's what is it called? An affiliate link for Waves. So that'll just be out of the goodness of our hearts.
I forget what it's called, but
even when I was playing music, like in a band, like professionally, we use Waves plugins on all of our demo recordings, on everything. They're really, really good. I think even on like our actual albums, like in the studio, we use Waves. So if you need a plugin, go check out Waves.
Yeah, but in terms of like editing, I wouldn't go crazy. Like, just trying to minimize any like background noise if you can. Just leveling everything out, making sure it's not too loud and the parts that are too quiet, kind of picking that up. But there shouldn't be a whole lot of editing that you're having to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to explain what a compressor is briefly? Do you know what a compressor is?
I don't know what you mean. Do you want me to explain? Like it basically makes the parts that are too quiet sound louder and the parts that are too loud sound quieter.
It kind of helps balance everything out and just kind of take the edge off.
I like that. Take the edge off, like a nice glass of whiskey.
That I didn't give you because I'm a failure of a podcast host, I guess. Step one to having a good podcast is offer all of your guests whiskey. Exactly.
Or a non-alcoholic
beverages, which is completely cool. You could have whiskey or milk. Which one would you prefer? I think we touched on this a little bit with equipment and a little bit now, but money. That is a big thing to consider when you're making a podcast because everything costs money. I think right now, like to distribute a podcast, there's a lot of different options. Like Anchor is new. I think it's free. and I think it's bought by Spotify now, so that's a good way to get your podcast on Spotify. But I mean, podcast hosting costs money. Like that's a monthly fee right now.
Right. If you're wanting to get your podcast on any major platform, you need somebody to host it.
Yes.
And so there's many different platforms to do so.
We use Castos.
Yeah.
Which has been really good.
Yeah, I think it was one of the cheapest. That's probably why we went with it, but it has been really handy.
And they let you have an unlimited amount of hours. They don't limit the amount of hours that you can have without upgrading your membership.
Plan. Yeah.
Yes.
Every platform is different in the amount of like stuff you're allowed to upload and like how much freedom you have and how much it costs per month or annually or whatever it may be. But we fairly liked Castos. It's pretty user friendly. They give you a lot of good stats and data on like who's listening and where they're listening from, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's really good. The big thing I kind of looked at when we were trying to decide where to host the podcast is, do they charge based on how many episodes you have uploaded? Do they limit that? Do they charge based on how many hours of podcast you have? Because when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you have a lot of hours. Sessions go for a long time, and it just didn't seem too feasible to model what we paid based on hours. So Castos, it doesn't charge based on episodes you have uploaded. It doesn't charge based on the amount of hours of content you have. But what it does do is it charges based on how many downloads you have. So if you have a very successful podcast and you hit like 10,000 downloads, from what I can tell from the website, like that's what it does. It's like you have to upgrade a membership after 10,000 downloads, which is a problem we don't have right now, believe it or not. We don't have 10,000 downloads. And Castos, if I'm saying this wrong and you have any complaints,
Sponsor us.
Send us an email and sponsor us. Comp us a month or two, and we'll sing your praises and give everybody the right info. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you have like the equipment that we talked about, the audio editing software. I mean, the D&D equipment. I mean, I assume anybody who wants to make a Dungeons and Dragons podcast probably has.
You're gonna need a pair of dice.
Everything.
Actually, you don't even need dice.
You don't even need dice. You can use it online, but that's no fun. So we encourage dice. I think a biggest thing about money is once you get past figuring out how you're going to pay for expenses and what expenses you have. A big thing that I looked into is, do I want to create a business for this? Do I want to make an LLC for this podcast? Because, I mean, with that, I mean, comes like write-offs, like expense write-offs on your taxes, which is really handy if you have like a regular like W-2 job. We are able to write off like almost all of our podcast expenses off of my own income tax this year. And I'm by no means a financial expert. But it was definitely the move for us because we wanted to make this professional. We wanted to produce it. It's not a hobby, which is a very important distinction. If you're just making a hobby podcast and you're not trying to make money off of it, or if you're not trying to produce something and release it for entertainment, like professional entertainment, don't make it a business.
Yeah.
Because the IRS will get mad and they will literally say, no, this is only a hobby. You can't do this.
We're not having fun, IRS. I promise. This is not for fun. It's for money.
It's literally, no, wait. Yeah, we're shelling out right now, IRS. Just kidding. We're doing this for fun too. The name of our business is Barely Business LLC, which I thought was pretty fun. But consider that. And also, if you decide you want to do an LLC, please do not pay somebody to file for you. There are people out there who will charge you like $200 to file and then $100 a year to keep it active. No. You don't need them. Let's look at me. You don't need them. You can do it all on your own. It costs $300 for me to file in Texas, and I'm probably able to write off like 2,000 plus amount of expenses based on my own income tax. That's just it's just written off my taxes now. And there's a lot of complications and laws that surround that. So like look that up. There's a ton of really good resources on YouTube. But just really important, do not pay somebody. You do not have to pay somebody to file for you. You don't have to pay somebody to get your EIN number because they'll try to sell you that stuff, and that'll save you the most money. It's just a sore spot with me. It's like, it's so easy to do it. And
you were going on rants about
I had like a local accountant because I was like trying to ask questions, and I called him and he was like, yeah, if you file with me, I'll charge you $200 plus the file fee for the state, which is $300. And then I think he was going to charge me yearly too. And I was like, okay, I'll get back.
He made it sound like it was a deal.
Yeah, like he was like
I'll
doing
only charge you
a really
200.
good service. And then I just went online. I did it myself in 20 minutes.
It's like if you can navigate like your local public library's online catalog, because those websites are usually really crappy, like you can definitely do it yourself. That's really specific. But also, I would just like to say, I feel like this is a lot of really good information, but I also I feel like a lot of it can also be a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
So like, again, this is going back to like the very first question, like, why are you making this and how do you want your show to be?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you want it to be? How much do you want to put into it?
Yeah.
Because you can have like the most fun making a D&D podcast and you're literally recording with like a very low quality mic and you don't edit it. You just post, you know what I mean? Like it can be whatever you want it to be. So this can all be really valuable information. And it can also just be like, okay, you don't have to do all these things. You don't have to file an LLC. You don't have to get plugins and all this fancy stuff.
You don't have to do that. You literally you can just, our DM Zachary has another podcast he does called Away from Table, which is really great. You should go listen to it.
Away from Table podcast.
Away from Table podcast on Spotify. And they all record over Discord from remote locations. And I could be mistaken, but I don't think all of them have like tried and true microphones. Mm-hmm. I know some people, at least on the episode I listened to, recorded with iPhone headphones. You know what I mean? But they want to be able to go back and listen to those episodes.
Yeah.
So they use Audacity. Then they finish recording. They just put all the tracks in Audacity. They use a Discord bot to record the audio of them all playing, and then they put it on the internet, which is completely doable. Yeah. Like you can all just connect to Discord. I think it's Craig, the Craig bot. Mm-hmm. And you activate him, you all talk, you play your game while talking over Discord, just drop the sound file in Audacity, export it, publish it, and you're done. And they use Anchor too, so they don't pay for hosting.
Yeah, you're right.
So
yeah, and yeah, so like it can be whatever you want it to be. You can pour hours into this, and you can like it can be a hobby that you just spend like an hour on a week or whatever it takes to do it. Spotify is like, do you want to talk about like actually getting your podcast onto platforms, or is that kind of like?
No, yeah, that's completely fine. Let's tackle that.
Because Spotify is really easy to work with. You just like apply, like publish it, whatever, and like you're on there in like 24 hours. Apple is a pain in the butt.
Everywhere it's different. I don't know why it's so weird. Like some places you have to like apply to get your podcast on there. Other places you just have to link your RSS feed.
Yeah.
But
so, and which is nice because like, I don't know, like depending on who's hosting your RSS feed, it might be easier because they give you like some are directly linked to it. But it also depends, like, do you just want your podcast on Spotify because that's where your friends would listen, or do you want it on Apple because that might be a further reach for you? Mm-hmm. Just kind of figuring out where you want to publish and where you want it to be accessible.
And don't take up like weird, I don't want to say like weird like podcast platforms for granted. Because there was a point that like half of our listener base was off Stitcher. And before making this podcast, I had never heard of Stitcher before.
Oh, really?
Ever.
That's funny.
No, I just use Spotify for my podcast like a regular person. And Stitcher, I for some reason, I want to say like it wasn't as simple as just posting my RSS feed and getting it on there. I could be remembering it wrong, but I know there was definitely places where I had to email the platform and ask them, please allow this on there.
Beg on your hands and knees.
And then Google doesn't let you like apply. They're just like, hey, if your podcast exists, we'll find it and we'll put it on there. Don't worry about it.
We got you.
Like, give it a week. We'll have your podcast on here. And I was like, okay, Google. And then I went back a week later and it was just there. Like I didn't do anything. That's kind of creepy. They just found it and put it on their platform.
That's disturbing, actually. I don't like that.
Right? It was very weird. So I mean, Google like the top like podcast platforms, and then you can just go put your RSS feed there. And your RSS feed is basically a link that your hosting platform will give you. That is kind of like is the place where where the platforms go to like stream your podcast. Right? Am I saying that wrong?
Yeah, it's where your podcast lives, essentially.
Yeah, it's its little home.
And it's an RSS feed because it's a feed that, it's updated. It's like live. But yeah, if you're thinking about just like reach it's Apple Podcasts and Spotify are probably just the two major ones if you just want to like kind of simplify it down, because that's where most people are going to be listening. Personally, I dumped Apple Podcasts a few months back because I hated the update and I think their interface was awful, and so I use Pocket Cast now. But that's
Pocket Cast is really good.
Pocket Cast, sponsor us.
Anybody sponsor us, like
anybody.
literally. So that's about it for money. And I think having conversations with everybody and like expectations with the people that you record with is very important.
Another big thing is even if you're like, if you have a, campaign that you want to start recording, and just the first thing is having a conversation with everybody who's involved and saying like, hey, is this even something everybody wants to do? And if everybody's on board, how involved do you want to be? Like, do you want to just come and play and then go home and not have to deal with any of this? Or, like there's so many different levels of involvement. And so I think having like expectations and kind of knowing everybody's role.
That was a big conversation we had. Yeah, because nobody else really wanted a podcast. Well, not saying that they didn't want it, but it wasn't.
It was definitely your idea and you're kind of like your baby. You were like, please, can we like do this? I don't know. That's not the way to describe it, but
yeah, I was definitely the one that was like, because we already played like probably 4 or 5 times, like Dungeons and Dragons. We had just started a group. We were having a lot of fun, and Away from Table actually started their podcast, and I was like, wait, I want to do that too. And so I went to Zachary and I was like, hey, can I do this? He's like, yeah, but I don't want any part. Like, I don't want to. Oh, you do that. I run the game. And I was like, I can do that. And then I went to my sister Mika and my friend Abby, who were playing with us, and I was like, do y'all mind if I do this? And they said yes. It was kind of weird because microphones, like that's a weird dynamic to go into. Mm-hmm. But definitely ask if people want this or if they just want to play Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because this isn't fun. It isn't something good unless everybody's having fun doing it. You know
right.
what I mean?
Ultimately, you don't want to compromise your game for the sake of
a recording.
Right.
And I think that's easy to think about and agree on, like just talking about it. But like when you get in the moment and you're excited and you're planning and you're getting everything lined up, it's a little, I don't know, it's almost like a little high. Like it's fun. Like it's really fun to plan and to dream. And then, I don't know, it's easy to forget about what other people want.
Yeah.
So talk to them. And that kind of leads into the next topic I wanted to go about is talking about the people. You know what I mean? Because that's a big part of the podcast is the people you're playing with.
The people.
I mean, it all comes back to that first question, like what type of Dungeons and Dragons podcast are you wanting to do? Are you wanting some like intricate storyline or special whatchamacallit? Mm-hmm. I mean, like,
is it going to be like really serious or just pure comedy? Is it, just going to be silly nonsense where if you bump the mic, it's funny, you know?
When you bump the mic, it's always a little fun.
It's always a little funny.
The noise is like, haha, funny noise. But I mean, like figure that out with your characters, with your players, and then ask them. I mean, what type of characters do you want to have in this world, in this that you play? I mean, are you trying to have like really individualistic characters with like really intense role play with like really fun NPCs, or do you literally just want to play Dungeons and Dragons, just kind of go with the flow? Mm-hmm. Figure that out beforehand, because let me tell you, when you're recording, it's not easy to have conversations about planning or figuring it out, or like say, what am I comfortable with? What do I want to do? It's so hard when you have a microphone in front of you. It's not easy.
Boundaries. Consent. Expectations.
So set all of those before you push the record button. It's been really interesting because having this podcast has taught me a lot about working with people as a team, figuring stuff out, communicating.
And I would say even more than that, working with people as a team who you have pre-existing close relationships with. Yeah. It's not like this is my coworker who we're just on a acquaintance level. It's like this is your family, Yeah. And so having to deal with like communication on like a business level with somebody that you're close with is kind of weird at first. Yeah. And so you have to like navigate that.
It is. And it was weird because we didn't sit down and go, okay, let's play Dungeons and Dragons and let's start a podcast and let's start a business for it. And let's, you know what I mean?
It didn't all happen at once.
No, it didn't all happen at once. And it was really awkward conversations to have because you know what I mean? Like you don't want to get in the way of people having fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all here to have fun. And it's kind of weird to say, hey,
Can I put a microphone in front of your
can I-
face and say funny things?
Yeah,
so we get popular.
Please be funny. Also, we're going to be a business now with the state government, so just be prepared for that.
I need you to sign some papers.
I need you to sign some paper. So definitely talk about it and make sure everybody's comfortable, and just express what expectations are. I'm trying to think of what other general tips I have that are useful.
Okay, I have a big tip.
Okay, lay it on me.
Snacks.
Okay,
Okay, Friday nights I try to have dinner for everybody when they come. So
cook dinner for your Dungeons and Dragons crew every week. Do it.
Listen, if you're asking people to, if you want to record them, if you want to have a podcast with them, feed them. Just grab some Taco Bell on the way home if you don't want to cook, and just feed your friends.
Feed your friends.
I love feeding.
That needs to be on a shirt.
Oh my gosh, can you make me a shirt for Christmas that says feed your friends?
I would love to.
Or maybe
I can do
feed
that.
my friends? No, that's weird.
Feed your friends.
Yeah.
I can figure it out. I'll figure it out. Yeah, so
bathroom breaks if you're
oh my gosh, yeah, take breaks.
This is just like general D&D campaign tips.
If you're playing Dungeons and Dragons,
have a comfortable seat.
I think that overall it's not overwhelming, like there's so many questions all at once, but for me it was like we started out, and like as I kept moving forward there kept being more questions that I had to figure out and more problems that I had to solve. So you don't need really expensive equipment. You don't need
really expensive software.
You don't need really expensive software. You can host something for free. I mean, you don't even necessarily need to pay for hosting every month, but I mean, look into that, like figure that out. I mean, figure out if you want, who's going to pay for what, how that's going to happen, what the expectations are for that. I'm just trying to recap here.
Yeah.
I mean, if an LLC sounds too complicated for you and it's not something you want to get into, or this is just a hobby, don't worry about it. Just forget I said anything about that. But if the idea of paying for your podcast off the government's dollar sounds pretty cool and you're willing to function it like a business, look into it. Because let me tell you, that's the only reason why we were able to get a lot of what we got is because we made an LLC. So yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, like I said, we're just starting out. We have like 7 episodes out right now.
So we're basically experts.
So we're definitely not experts. But I mean, tweet at us, like message us. Or if you have
DM us on Instagram.
That's right. Instagram, the Facebook.
We should we should like post on Instagram story, like, do you have any questions? Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, you're right. We should have done that before we recorded this.
Well, no, but I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Also, in the future of a Barely Explained episode, it should just be a Q&A. Like down the line, it should just be like getting people to ask questions on Instagram and then answering them.
I think you're completely right. Oh my gosh, this is the creative consulting.
Producer.
Yep. You're really good at it. That's why we keep hiring you back. Definitely not because we're married or anything.
Hiring implies compensation.
You're compensating with the laughs. We already talked about that. That's your contract.
You're right. I'm sorry. Take it back.
It's okay, but don't let it happen again. Okay.
Sorry.
So anyways, that's about it. That's all that we had to talk about. Hopefully it helped fill some holes. Hopefully it didn't blow your mind in a bad way, like overwhelm you.
Blow your mind in a bad way. What does it even mean?
Like overwhelming. Hopefully it's not overwhelming.
Okay, I see.
The moral of the story is this is doable. You can do this. We believe in you.
I believe in you.
If you start a podcast,
we should make t-shirts that says Melanie believes in you.
That's
and
good
me.
too.
Melanie believes in me, and then people wear them.
Yeah, because you believe in them.
I do. I really do.
So,
also, can I just say, do not think that there are so many podcasts out there that you're just going to be white noise. Listen, if you want to start a podcast, just start it. It's fun. Like, there's a lot of crap about like, oh, everybody started a podcast during quarantine. Like, who cares? It's fun. Like, it doesn't matter. Just start it if you want. If you want to start one, then do it. Okay, that's my 2 cents.
I like that 2 cents. That's a really good 2 cents. And I mean, the amount of podcasts out there and the amount of ones that are like putting out content regularly.
Huge gap.
You know what I'm saying? So like make something, believe in it, release it consistently, and you'll be surprised.
The market is not like too flooded or full. Like and people are listening to podcasts more now than ever. Mm-hmm. So like there is a seat at the table for you.
Yes.
If you want it.
So come join us. The water's fine.
Join us. We have Taco Bell at the table.
We have taco. That's right, because you feed your friends.
Get it? I looped it around.
I get it. It took me a second.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it for Barely Explained this week. If you haven't caught on yet, this is what we do when we don't have an actual campaign episode. But we want to put out stuff weekly. And so this is our commitment, is to put something out weekly. And this is what we do when we don't have a campaign episode. So
it's not filler content,
it's not
Landon.
filler. We're providing value. That's what I like to tell myself.
This is our seat at the table.
So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to plug just about everything we have. So we're really trying to build up things like Instagram and Twitter. Facebook, not so much, but it's there if you dig that.
Likes Facebook.
It's interesting.
Delete your Facebook.
But it's the one thing I can like invite my friends to go like.
Yeah.
So it's there. We also have a website. I may or may not have hidden something, opportunity for free stickers.
Searching around on it.
Shout out to George, who's the first person to find it, and now I have to make the stickers. It's real. But yeah, that's Barely Explained. I hope that was useful for you. If you have any additional questions, message me or Melanie on anything, and we'll catch you next week for I think episode 7.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. The world might end. Who knows? Thank you.
Bye.